Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
Richard Torrez, he did good. Outpointed Guido VIANELLO over 10 rounds, improving his record to 13-0, 11 inside the distance. Torrez basically steamed in and cut the range down on the taller Italian heavyweight with the longer reach. And Guido didn't deal with the aggression as effectively as needed. Held too much, actually lost a point for holding. Torrez outworked him, landed some good overhand rights. Not sure what kind of power Richard has though, but he's got good speed. The energy is there. I thought the fight was a little closer perhaps. Guido in the middle round seemed to be finding that uppercut and timing him pretty well, but Guido threw it away. He didn't seem like he was really up to put himself on the line to get the W. It sounds bad saying that about somebody who's going through the ropes, because there has to be an element of bravery just to go in the ring. He didn't lay it all on the line for me. I think they have to start moving Torrez into meaningful fights now, because that style may have a shelf life on it. And at 25, he's ready to go. Tim Bradley introduced the idea of pitting Richard against Jared Anderson, who Richard has beat in the amateurs already. That'd be a very good fight for Top Rank. Very good fight. Good time to make it as well. They've done their apprenticeships. Jared's got something to prove. Richard got something to prove. Guido didn't deal with the aggression as manfully as I thought he would. I thought he would have boxed behind that double jab, moved, give Torrez angles, but he just couldn't time Torrez with that 1-2 because Torrez was moving in quickly. But he resorted to mauling and holding as Torrez forced the pace. Torrez also hurt Guido late on, and he punished the body pretty well too. Guido, he really needed to be on his boxing because it was a winnable fight with his height and reach advantages and what I've seen him do before. But you know, guys like Makhmudov are slow, and Efe Ajagba, he lost a split decision to Ajagba. Ajagba blows hot and cold. But Guido, apparently his family are pretty well to do. Does he really want it? Is he that hungry?
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
I don't agree with His Excellency and Dana White of boxing's broken. Boxing's not broken. Boxing's red hot.
Certainly in the UK, it's thriving in the UK. Boxing's not broken here.
Boxing not perfect, but it's certainly not broken. Not going by this schedule. 12th of April, this weekend. Unification at 147. Boots Ennis versus Stanionis. Got Ray Ford on the undercard. On the 19th next week, Dalton Smith will defend his European title. It's a nice card. Ishmael Davis on the undercard. Josh Warrington. Later on that night, Gabriela Fondora will defend the flyweight titles. On the 20th, Ben Whittaker versus Liam Cameron, the long-awaited rematch. This is a Sky Sports joint on the undercard. Looking forward to seeing Lee Cutler versus Sam Eggington at 154. That's a good fight. Fraser Clark returns against David Adilier's uncle, Ebenezer Tete, as David Adilier himself described him. And Tyler Denny returns to the ring after losing to Hamza Shiraz. He's moving up to 168. 26th of April, Eubank versus Conor Benn. Anthony Yard, Lyndon Arthur on the undercard. Liam Smith versus Aaron McKenna on the undercard. Chris Billiam Smith versus Brandon Glanton. Very good fight on the undercard. Vidal Riley versus Chevron Clark at cruiserweight on the undercard. That's going to cost us a couple of ducats. I think $21.99 they're charging for that card. I'm in. May the 2nd, New York City. Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. The return of Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barboza Jr. for the WBO 140-pound title. Now, I don't know if they're going to charge us in the UK for that card. I would feel a way paying for Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia as the main event, but if they're charging, I'll probably pay out reluctantly. I believe that card is going to be on a Friday on DAZN. It's a crazy weekend, bruh. Saturday, May the 3rd, next day, Canelo versus William Skull. That's for undisputed at 168. Jaime Munguia versus Bruno Sarase. Great rematch. Sarase sprung the upset, knocking him out just a couple of months back. Bakoli versus F.A. Ajagba, or a heavyweight, and Badu Jack versus Ryan Rozicki. That's a very good card. They're definitely in the charges for that. May the 4th, Las Vegas, Nayo Inoue versus Ramon Cardenas. That's for the undisputed junior featherweight title. Rafael Espinoza versus Edward Vasquez. Underrated, under the radar fight for the WBO featherweight title. That's a top rank joint. Good little schedule, especially if you've got DAZN.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
You ain't doing
I've done
shit.
it to everyone
You ain't
else.
doing shit.
I've done
You
it to
ain't doing
everyone
shit.
else,
You ain't
and
fight
you ain't no
nobody.
different.
You ain't doing it to
You're a
everybody
one-trick
else. You ain't
pony,
doing shit.
and the trick is
Yeah.
shit. It's boring. We've seen it. We know what it is. You're getting put out.
You gonna lick my fat nuts too? Don't worry about it.
Let's go. This isn't the first time Jarrell has did this. Let's start with the British Boxing Board of Control. Are you going to fine Jarrell because he hit Fabio? You fine Chris Eubank 100k, whether it's premeditated or not. What are you going to do with Jarrell?
Absolutely nothing.
Now, do I believe Jarrell is taking it a serious beef because Fabio allegedly done some diss track? I don't even think Fabio raps. No, he was making a mountain of a molehill. He was trying to create a situation because he's trying to unsettle Fabio. He needs to unsettle Fabio. Why? Because Fabio, 19 fights, 18 wins, 1 draw, 17 inside the distance, is one of the biggest punchers. He hits that hard. That's on the eye test. Still got to prove it at world level. But anyone facing Fabio telling you that he's not concerned after seeing Fabio smash the left side of Frazier Clark's facing, you have to ask them why they're not concerned. I'd try and unsettle him. A few people think Jarrell Miller is going to beat Fabio Wardley. A lot of people think this fight has come too early for Fabio. Let me just give my opinion. Not on the result, not yet. I'm not going to give you a prediction as yet. But this fight is coming at the perfect time for Fabio Wardley. Fabio has improvised and fought his way through the small hall circuit to being a Matchroom fighter, now a Queensberry fighter, a British champion with no amateur experience, a couple of white-collar boxing fights. How can it possibly be too early? His whole experience in boxing has been going into the unknown and conquering. This is just the right time for Fabio. Just the right time. Perfect fight for Fabio. At 30, he's been a pro for 8 years. Let's repeat this, yeah? A half dozen white-collar fights, no amateur experience. He's already greatly overachieved. And now he's in that transition period where he doesn't fight 4 or 5 times a year. When you're only going to fight twice a year, whether you're a contender or a champion, them fights have got to count. No, Jarrell Miller is the perfect opponent. Brash, talks a lot, tries to intimidate people, reckless. If you're not on your game, he could swamp you. Like I say, reckless. Hittable. It's going to be all about if he can take Fabio's bombs. If he can take Fabio's bombs and draw him into an attrition type fight where Fabio has got to show some inside game, hey, it's going to be interesting. That's what we want to see. And if he loses, he loses. We'll see. Fabio don't have the amateur experience. He's got to take chances. He's got to leap up and learn on the job. If that means losing or getting knocked down, it is what it is. What's Portman Road? 29,000 capacity. Now, if it's a full house, he's got to fight someone that offers jeopardy in how the theatrics play out. And Jarrell Miller is the guy.
Would you still like to fight Derek at some point?
Yeah, 100%. But you know, he's on a winning streak, and I think he might get Dubois. Y'all talking about Usyk. I think Zora might get Dubois and get that check.
How does that go? Chisora Dubois?
Chisora, don't make him put them fly gloves on.
Jarrell Miller, as always.
Jarrell Miller discussing with Charlie Parsons on the stomping ground how Demetrius Alita got paid to his fight with Derek Chisora. Chisora, he defeated Miller's replacement Otto Wallin, and now he's in line to fight Daniel Dubois. Now, I wonder if Miller is aware that Fabio Wardley wears fly gloves too. Could that be a bone of contention for Miller before the fight goes ahead? Kelbrook had to change his fly gloves just before he fought Amir Khan, didn't he? Well, Khan weren't going to go in the ring, apparently. Big Baby, a perpetual screw-up. No disrespect to Jarrell, but let's keep it real. I'm going to keep it in context why I say that. 2 ped violations, which has kept him out of the ring from 2018 to 2022, 4 years more or less. That's the violations that got the AJ and Jermaine Franklin fight cancelled. His weight has skyrocketed, he's yo-yo dieted, he's been inactive. He blamed his defeat on Daniel Dubois on short notice. He's in beef with Dimitri Salita. There's a lot of turmoil around his life and his career. He's not the most stable fighter. He's a loose cannon. He has to try and unsettle someone like Fabio. He needs to unsettle him. He needs to bring the whole
sucking his baby Brooklyn nuts
bullcrap to the table.
Get some nuts!
He can't just go in the gym, train, and fight for the best outcome. He needs something extra. He really needs to unsettle Wardley, who's a cool character. Doesn't give much away. Poker face. The younger man. The more active man. The man who's improving. Can we really say Jarrell Miller has improved from 2018? Has he improved since he came back in 2022? At 341 pounds, yeah, his weight will be down. He'll be around 300 pounds. But are these just fat camps? Can he ever get back to the type of form when he was beating Gerald Washington, Marius Wack, DeHarpers, Thomas Adamek, and was ranked number 8 by the Ring magazine? Can he get back there?
Picking Jarrell Miller as an opponent. He's had a few fights now since serving a ban for the failed drugs tests. A lot of people have the opinion they don't think Miller deserves an opportunity back at a world level and deserves the paydays due to his prolific history of drug tests. How do you respond to that opinion?
I respond to that. I can see where they're coming from. But the fact of the matter is, it's like if you go to prison, you're found guilty of a crime, you go to prison, you serve your sentence, and the slate gets wiped clean. And it's what it is. If it's a lifetime ban, then that'd be the end of it. He's served everything he's had to serve under the rules and regulations. I think anybody who cheats with the drug should be banned for life. That's my opinion of it. But that's not the case. So we work within the regulations. He's fought in Riyadh against Daniel. He's had a fight since with Ruiz, which he got a draw, which I thought he won that fight, by the way. Yeah. He'll be tested regularly here by VADA. He's on the VADA program, UK program. He will be tested.
Okay, that's good to hear.
And he's got to be clean. He won't be fighting. It's as simple as that.
Like I said, he had a good run up to 2018. Then when he got popped 2019 before facing Joshua for the unified titles, how much substances did he get popped for? Matchroom dropped him. Big scandal. Signed up with Top Rank. Got popped again. Remember in 2018 when he made that reputation for throwing an impressive amount of punches per round for a man that size. He wasn't getting VADA tested in these fights. And now he's going to be under strict VADA testing. Is this why he's not getting results against the likes of Daniel Dubois, Andy Ruiz? Is he going to get some more red in his BoxRec column after fighting Fabio Wardley because he can't take his favourite PED supplements? Has to be a factor taken into consideration. Fabio himself said unless he's tested, he's not going through with the fight. And it's going to be 2 layers of testing, VADA and UCAD. We know Fabio's improving. You just got to look at the first Fraser Clark fight and the rematches. That's all you need to know. Don't have to overthink it. This is an improving heavyweight. Jarrell Miller, I thought he beat Andy Ruiz last year, but he didn't look good either. Neither him or Andy looked good. They both look lousy. He knows why these promoters are bringing him on shows. Yeah? He knows why. He fought in Riyadh season twice, 2023 and 2024, and didn't win either of them. And if you notice, he didn't throw no hands over there in Riyadh. He didn't push no one or anything like that because he's a Muslim perhaps, and maybe he understands that type of behavior will not be tolerated, like throwing your weight around in Brooklyn or in London where he pushed AJ. And he has to be aware that they'll bring him on these cards to fight, to hype it up a little. But make no mistake, he didn't get that decision against Andy Ruiz because they didn't want to give a 2-time PED violator, foul-mouthed, acting like a thug, a decision. So he needs a knockout against Fabio Wardley. Let's keep it real. The one thing he has going for him is he is getting his weight down. He was 305 against Andy Ruiz, 333 against Dubois and Lucas Brown. How well Jarrell does in the fight against Fabio could well depend on what kind of camp he's having. If it's a fat camp, I believe he'll lose. If he's maintained a healthy weight in between the Andy Ruiz fight into this camp, it could be interesting.
You want to wake me up? Now I'm walking up now. You want to wake me up? Now I'm walking up now. That's what you wanted? Now I'm walking up. That's what you wanted? Now you woke me up now.
Let's bring in Hall of Fame boxing promoter Frank Warren.
I apologise. This is not a good look for our sport, not a good look for boxing. I don't want to be seeing this. This is not what it's all about. It's all about the fight on the night. All this other stuff is not acceptable.
Frank's had a good start at the Zone, but right now, you're dealing with volatile temperaments. Frank has no control over the likes of Jarrell Miller, so he could go off at the next press conference, at the weigh-in. He could pop dirty for the third PED violation for all we know, and everyone's going to say, well, Frank, you had the heads up on his history. Why did you not get an opponent that was likely to be more reliable? Because to me, the way he was acting, it was almost like he wanted to get the fight cancelled. You would hope that's not the case. But you're dealing with the type of mindset here that is likely to screw up, even if it's not intentional. He'll screw up. So Frank can apologise and say it's not acceptable all he likes. This is what you signed up for. You think he can bring the viewers to the fight? Well, this is what comes with it. It's the unpredictable loose cannon that could screw up at any time.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
Unification this Saturday, boy. Broadwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Boots Ennis, IBF champion, 33-0, 29 inside the distance. The Boxing News says he's a favourite. Stanionis, 15-0, 9 inside the distance. The Lithuanian WBA welterweight champion. Boots Ennis, I wouldn't really say he was a boxer. He does use his jab, but he's always looking to land big punches. He gives up his height and leaves himself open to counters too. Stanionis, his opponent, is a good inside fighter. Spencer Oliver made reference to his body punching. He's just been too inactive. He had an emergency appendectomy, which cancelled a fight against Virgil Ortiz in 2023. He didn't fight for the whole of 2023. And then you add that to him stepping aside to allow Errol Spence to fight the likes of the Cuban, and then other potential fights falling through. Basically, one of them PBC fighters who's just been forced into inactivity. So one fight last year against Gabriel Maestre, and his last fight before that was against Butaev. That was April 2022. The Radza Butaev fight was a war. The inactivity and Boots not being burdened by that rehydration clause because it's a unification could sway the fight Boots' way. Boots fought Karen Shakadzian last time out and didn't look that good. It was a rematch of their first fight where Shakadzian excessively moved around the ring and didn't engage at all. He was more ambitious in the rematch, hit Boots more than Boots would have liked to have got hit, but Boots won a wide UD, had Shakadzian on the floor in the fifth. I think Stanionis is going to be in the fight. He's going to start well. I just don't think he'll be able to keep the intensity going consistently for 12 rounds with the inactivity. Boots is definitely the livest opponent he's faced. It's going to be a lot bigger. And if he can't keep up the intensity and Boots starts backing him up, Stanionis will have it all to do to become unified champion. I don't see Boots stopping Stanionis. Stanionis has a very solid guard, and Butaev looked like he could whack, and he took his shots pretty well. I read somewhere Stanionis was going to go relentlessly after Boots' body, but he'll also leave himself open to Boots' power punches, left hooks. Need to see more of that uppercut that he hurt Kushadzian with and decked him. He has a very good punch arsenal. The inactivity from Stanionis is going to be key. If it really impairs him, he's going to lose the fight. But if he's well rested from that inactivity, which is a possibility, this could be a very tough fight. Very tough fight. Because Boots, if he doesn't knock him out early, he's going to get hit. When Boots gets frustrated or he can't land cleanly, he doesn't reset his attacks very well. He falls in. That's what he was doing last time out. And if he does that against an inside fighter like Stanionis, who's already said he's going to go to the body, this could be a taxing fight. Perhaps a majority split decision to Boots is what I'd pick. Looking forward to it.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.